I always thought I was put here on this earth for a purpose. I thought it was to be an engineer or maybe an inventor, but that's not it, and now I know what it is.
God put you here to sue the Ford Motor Company.
Look, I brought these here thinking that you had different ideas.
Flash of Genius is the new movie starring Greg Kinnear and Lauren Graham, based on the true story of Robert Kearns, a Detroit College professor and engineer who in the 1960s invented the intermittent windshield wiper, a device used almost in every car now in the world. So you read this story in the New Yorker magazine in 1993, and when you saw this story, you said you wanted to make this film, and you've actually been a very successul producer in Hollywood for 20 years. Why did
Don't
you
hold
choose...
that against me.
I won't. Yeah. But this one was the first one you decided to direct.
Yes.
How come?
I'd been wanting to. I started as a writer, and I had wanted to direct a film. And for some reason, when I read this article by John Seabrook in the New Yorker, I just fell in love with it. It was, inexplainable why it was that one. I mean, if you look back historically, for me, stories about the common man fighting sort of an uncommon battle have always had a challenge. I've always been drawn to them, and this one seemed unique. This man who came up with this funny invention, an invention we could live without, but certainly we're happy we are not living without, and realized that it really wasn't a battle about, he wanted to get his credit, but it really was a battle about principle. It was a battle about injustice, and so I thought those were important issues, and I just felt attached to that idea.
And it's an interesting theme, too, because it's a David and Goliath story.
Yeah.
This college professor invents this device, which Ford actually said, we love it, it's great. And they kind of went ahead and produced it without him, and he didn't get the money or the recognition. And then this legal battle ensues. But it sort of has a common theme we see today with the common man and the everyday people sort of fed up with corporate America. So do you think this will resonate with moviegoers?
Well, I think that it is interesting. In the last, you show the movie before it opens on Friday, but, you show the movie and there's been a palpable feeling in the audience during the film now that wasn't there in its early days of showing it, because I think that people are feeling more marginalized. They are feeling a little bit like their lives are out of control, and here's some guy who's saying, you know what, I'm not going to take it. Just fed up with it. I'm not going to allow some giant corporation to sort of say I'm not important. So you never know, but I hope that it resonates. I mean, its goal is to make people have a good time at the movies and enjoy themselves. But if it gives them something to think about or frees them up on that from that point of view, I'd be happy with that.
And I would imagine making a movie that is about sort of a common man, based on a true story. So this actually is a story that happened that you're working with. But it's also, it's not big special effects. There's no things blowing up and everything. And to direct a movie that tells the story of a man, a complicated man, because here he was an inventor and very bright, but this also cost him big in terms of his family, and sort of he got very focused on this, and it almost ruined his life. So was that a difficult challenge for you to sort of portray him as a likable character to get the audience to cheer for him in the end, but yet you're dealing with a man who was somewhat unlikable at times?
Well, that was a challenge for me, and that's the reason I was interested in doing the movie, because I just don't ever look at life as being so black and white. I don't think any of our heroes, are totally perfect. I don't think any of our, some of our leaders are that way, or people run corporations, or even a small guy who's doing, fighting a battle like this. So yes, my challenge personally was to create a human character, someone who, despite his flaws, despite the fact that maybe he didn't pay as much attention to his family as he should, even though in the end the family comes back, even though we sort of know he's going to prevail in some way, was to be able to make that character interesting while at the same time you saw that he had clay feet, that he did have some warts on him, that he was not literally, but he was a true character that you could believe in. And I believe if you can feel that way about somebody, you feel that the filmmaker's not pandering to you and challenging you, then you will be more involved in the movie, and the movie will resonate more for you. So yeah, it's a restrained film in that sense as well.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. We appreciate your time and coming to talk to us about your new movie.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
I've been speaking with Marc Abraham, the director of the new movie Flash of Genius. I'm Kelsey Hubbard in New York.